balmy July evening that still burns in the memory of baseball aficionados, Shohei Ohtani, baseball's modern-day marvel, commanded the stage in a game destined to spark endless debates, set off heated online discussions, and produce highlight reels that fans still relive today. The game unfolded as a high-stakes clash, combining nail-biting tension, astonishing statistics, and decisions that divided opinions among die-hard fans. Let's dive in. The rise of a legend, Ohtani's journey to stardom. Before the drama of that fateful night unfolded, it is essential to understand the remarkable background of Shohei Ohtani. Born in Oshu, Japan in 1994, Ohtani burst onto the scene with a combination of fearlessness and natural talent that challenged everything conventional wisdom had taught us about the game. From the days when he dazzled his high school opponents in Japan to his meteoric ascent in Nippon professional baseball with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, Ohtani was never content merely with being one more player. His early career was punctuated by raw numbers that quickly became his calling card, fastballs reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour a season, ERA as impressive as 1.79, and clutch moments marked by long home runs in critical situations. These statistics laid the groundwork for what would soon become a legendary career. When the Los Angeles Angels secured his signature back in 2017, skeptics quickly began to quibble over whether his dual-threat abilities could endure the grueling schedule and fierce competition of Major League Baseball. The subsequent events of that controversial game, however, emphatically answered that question, even if they also raised new debates about managing such rare talent. Pre-game buzz, anticipation, and uncertainty. In the days leading up to the showdown, the atmosphere at Angels Stadium was nothing short of electric. Ohtani's season had been nothing less than incendiary. Every start, every at-bat, magnifying his reputation as both a dominant pitcher and a formidable hitter. Fans and pundits alike marked July 27, 2021, on their calendars as a day destined to test the very limits of his versatility. With his batting line boasting over 40 home runs and a consistent average in the mid-250 range, his offensive exploits had already captivated a generation of sports enthusiasts. At the same time, his pitching was backed by strikeout totals that exceeded 150, and an ERA frequently dancing around the low 3 seconds, confirming his status as one of the game's elite. Yet, behind these dazzling figures lurked a weighty concern that the human body might not withstand the Herculean demands of excelling at both pitching and hitting over a long season. The game that changed everything. The date was July 27, 2021. The Los Angeles Angels were facing off against the Colorado Rockies in what was expected to be an ordinary midseason game. Yet from the very beginning, the night took on a different tone. Ohtani was scheduled to both pitch and bat, a rare occurrence even for him. The stakes were high. Ohtani had been in the midst of a historic MVP-caliber season, and every game seemed like an opportunity to witness history. When the first pitch was thrown, the eyes of the baseball world became transfixed on the confrontation unfolding on the diamond. Ohtani, entrusted with the role of the Angels' ace, dazzled early as he unleashed fastballs at speeds upward of 98 miles per hour, setting the tone for an evening that promised both brilliance and risk. In the very opening innings, his approach bore fruit as he struck out 4 of the first 6 batters. With each pitch, a mind-boggling combination of a scorching fastball and a seemingly defiant splitter, he left the opposing Colorado Rockies batters scrambling for answers. This display was echoed by the stellar support of the Angels' defense, whose timely stops ensured that any early runs were held at bay, allowing the narrative of the game to build steadily. However, as the contest advanced into the third inning, ominous signs began to materialize. Ohtani's pitch count climbed steadily, a harbinger of the physical toll his dual responsibilities were exacting. By the third frame, the data revealed that he had hurled 65 pitches, managed to notch 7 strikeouts out of 9 batters faced, and recorded 2 uncharacteristic walks. This convergence of numbers underscored the precarious balance between striving for excellence and risking irreversible fatigue and injury. The climax, a pitch, and a grand slam. The fourth inning became the flashpoint of controversy. After giving up another run and walking 2 more batters, Ohtani's pitch count had ballooned to 85. Angels manager Joe Maddon walked out to the mound to have a conversation with his star player. Analytics suggested that Ohtani should be pulled. His pitch count was high, his command was off, and the risk of injury was increasing. But Ohtani, ever the competitor, insisted on staying in the game. Maddon, known for his unconventional managerial style, made the bold decision to leave him in. The turning point came with a singular pitch that would forever be etched into baseball lore. In the midst of the fourth inning, as signs of exhaustion began to tell, Ohtani released a pitch that deviated dramatically from his norm, a slow 92 miles per hour throw instead of his customary 98 miles per hour effort. The deviation was startling for those watching live and from afar, as the markedly lowered velocity provided an opening too tempting for the Rockies' cleanup hitter to ignore. In an instant, a powerful swing transformed that underwhelming pitch into a towering grand slam, erasing the Angels' earlier credibility by turning a 3-0 deficit into a 9-0 rout in favor of the Rockies. The impact was seismic. Not only did that single moment shock the fans and shift the game's momentum irrevocably, but advanced metrics also indicated that Ohtani's overall season value rating dipped by an estimated 15% as a consequence of the lapse. For aficionados who thrive on dissecting every nuance of game day performance, the statistical breakdown of that night is a treasure trove of insights. Over 6 innings, Ohtani delivered a total of 112 pitches, setting off the game at an average velocity near 98 miles per hour before a critical dip to 92 miles per hour sent shockwaves through the dugout. His performance, marked by an atypical strikeout-to-walk ratio of 8-3, only deepened the narrative of an outing that diverged sharply from his regular brilliance. At the plate, Ohtani's offensive credentials shone as he went 5 for 7, including 2 monumental home runs, one of which was a 450-foot shot during the bottom of the third inning that exemplified his touch and timing. His batting average for the game soared to an impressive .350, and his slugging percentage reached nearly .857, underscoring his dual-threat capability. 18 ERA, along with a season tally of over 40 home runs and 90 RBIs. The statistics provide a vivid juxtaposition of sublime potential and the inherent volatility that comes with embracing a two-way role. The broader implications: what does the future hold? This controversial game was far more than an isolated event. It stood as a microcosm of the larger strategic evolution taking place in baseball. Shohei Ohtani's ability to excel at both pitching and hitting has forced boardrooms, dugouts, and media pundits to confront fundamental questions about the future of player utilization. And how might the advent of enhanced analytics and injury prevention models redefine the late-game decisions that have long been the purview of instinct rather than science? This pivotal game has not only spurred immediate debate, but has also set in motion a larger industry-wide conversation about how best to reconcile innovation with the timeless demands of athlete safety and career longevity. Tactical insights and managerial strategy. A deep dive into the tactical intricacies of that historic game reveals just how challenging managerial decisions can be when data and gut instinct collide. In a situation where advanced analytics pointed to the wisdom of pulling a pitcher once he exceeded roughly 80 pitches, Manager Joe Maddon took a different route entirely. With his reputation for embracing unorthodox strategies, he decided that the potential reward of keeping Ohtani in the game outweighed the statistical risks. Maddon's decision was based not only on the hard data, but also on a calculated bet that Ohtani could defy expectations and deliver additional moments of offensive brilliance. A gamble that, for a brief period, appeared justified when Ohtani's bat registered a booming 450-foot home run. Yet, as the ensuing events showed, this risk-reward calculus was a double-edged sword. Maddon's approach ultimately encapsulated the timeless sports dilemma. Should one prioritize the heroic narrative of daring, game-changing decisions over a more cautious, statistically driven method that may better safeguard a player's future? This remains one of the most debated aspects of modern baseball strategy, resonating strongly with fans who see in every high-risk move both legend and liability. The numbers that matter. In the quiet moments after the final inning, the game's statistics took on an even greater significance. Analysts pored over the numbers, each data point shedding light on a performance that was at once exhilarating and fraught with missteps. Ohtani's 6 innings pitched came at the cost of 112 total pitches, where the expected evolution, from an initial display of near-perfect velocity to the later more vulnerable 92 miles per hour delivery, spoke volumes about physical fatigue and the pressures of maintaining peak performance. His striking efficiencies, noted in a ratio of 8 strikeouts to just 3 walks, were a testament to a normally immaculate skill set that night deviated under pressure. Offensively, his 5 for 7 line, complete with 2 towering home runs and 3 key RBIs, translated into a staggering slugging percentage of roughly .857, a performance that should have buoyed the Angels' chances under different circumstances. Yet when these game-specific figures are compared with his season averages, such as an ERA of 3.18 and a robust season production in both home runs and RBIs, the anomalies of that night become all the more apparent. Such a statistical outlier underscores the inherent unpredictability that can emerge when even the most seasoned talents are pushed to their limits. The heroic comeback, Ohtani's resilience and future prospects. Despite the tumult of that controversial showdown, Shohei Ohtani's career is defined by more than just a single dramatic misstep. His narrative is one of resilience, a story where every setback becomes a stepping stone toward further evolution. In post-game interviews, a reflective Ohtani acknowledged that while that night did not unfold according to plan, every experience, no matter how challenging, contributes to his ongoing journey of growth and self-improvement. So, join the conversation. Share your thoughts on whether innovation should come at the cost of increased risk, and debate whether safeguarding a phenomenal talent is worth sacrificing those awe-inspiring moments of brilliance. Share your insights in the comments, subscribe for more detailed game breakdowns, and let's continue this conversation as passionately as the game itself.